The whole reason rape culture exists is because men treat it like a joke.
The very fact that you used the term rape culture has just critically damaged your soapbox. Just for the sake of criticism, I will continue reading this garbage. Also, some people treat Nazi Germany or Holocaust as a joke, some do it to the Titanic disaster, and some do it to 9/11. What's your point?
Some bronies agreed, more power to them, and supported us, and some bronies screamed that we were just too sensitive and whiny, and that they could do whatever they wanted with no consequences.
Fair use, anyone? Seriously, the latter ones you've mentioned had legal rights to create and defend what they had. I agree with them. People like you are the ones who are too sensitive and whiny to even go outside the Tumblr safe space.
After enough people reported the blog and got it taken down, the infighting hit the boiling point.
Honestly, that is basically one crowd taking down what they don't like but is made and liked by another crowd. To be fair, some fault goes to the blog author for even considering Tumblr as a platform for something more serious than a showcase of clop art. Still, you can take anything down if you got enough people behind your cause, but does that necessarily proves that your opinion is the truth?
The fandom was divided between the glorious people, who actually cared about the implications of their actions and didn't want anyone to get hurt, and disgusting people, who wanted to be disgusting and enjoyed disgusting things without anyone judging them, and do so under the disgustingly false guise of feminist progress, while actively, disgustingly spitting on feminist ideas. Disgusting.
Sure, keep saying the same thing over and over, and eventually, it will become true. Because flinging shit into a crowd had worked marvelously so many times before, right? Also, where did you see the guise of feminist progress? Making porn of kid cartoons is not progress, it's a natural occurrence on the internet. The famous rules of the internet, specifically, the Rule 34, are quoted for a reason despite not being mandated or enforced by a legal force. Like physics. Have you seen Newton police beating the shit out of the guy who made Oobleck? I haven't. The very existence of adult male fans is the progress. Clop is just obscure content made by obscure audience for itself, and it has nothing to do with feminism. Much like pornography in general. Or logic and common sense.
Clop got born around the same time as Molestia.
Just like porn streaming websites got born around the same time as RedHub or PornTube. Next time, please don't mix LSD with 10 shots of vodka before making garbage like this.
For those who don't know, you lucky sads, clop is pony porn, supposedly meant to imitate the sound a horse might make while masturbating, except they don't, so how did anyone think of this? It was showing up under character tags, so a small child could easily Google image search Fluttershy and come up with explicit pornographic images drawn by bronies.
Which is Google's fault because it didn't seem to offer such things as a safe search. A lot of websites have that, so why not Google Images? Is it too expensive or outright illegal for them to have it, let alone have it running by default? There are tags, there are age ratings, there are other means of limit or designation of porn as unsafe content. There are standards in place, so why won't the greedy fucks from Google work with them?
When begged to stop putting their art in the main tags, bronies flooded the main tags with even more clop, in the most petulant and disgusting show of spite.
Examples, please? Most of the common web is moderated, so there's at least a reason to add additional tags that designate an unsafe image. And either moderators have to simply correct the mistake, or just ban the poor bastard that doesn't understand the purpose of tags.
The MLP creative team even had to send out apologies to outraged parents whose children had stumbled across the stuff. I'm pretty sure they even released official statements discouraging any child from Google searching MLP things until they put up better safe search settings.
At least you have acknowledged the imperfections of the stupid shitty Google that caused some of the trouble in the first place.
Now for the most disgusting part of all. A little girl with cancer was in contact with the Make-A-Wish Foundation, and one of her wishes was to be a character in MLP. The design team was more than happy to help her out, and her character was designed and put into an episode as a background character.
Sounds cool, but where's the catch?
The design team begged bronies not to make clop of this little girl's OC. 3 guesses what the bronies did. If you guessed made sure the tag came up with nothing but clop, congrats, you did it. I had faith in you.
Aren't there any filters in place? For example, a little girl with unadjusted filters on Derpaburu would not be able to see clop by default because the filters would have to be turned off manually. And why would the clop come up? Because the fucking filters would have to be turned off. This trash was written in 2015, and I've been on the website since at least a year before. The filters were already implemented by then. The same might go for every widely known image hosting website with pony art in it, while the ones that don't have filters are either breaking the law by allowing kids to watch porn, or they're sufficiently hidden away from the kids, which negates the very necessity for the limits.
I used to love MLP. The songs were beautiful crafted, the storyline was engaging and taught important life lessons that most shows didn't want to touch on, and the characters were believable and flawed. The world building was fascinating, and the design of the art was bright without being blinding or tacky. It didn't dumb anything down for girls, which so many girl shows do. Because male directors have no point of reference for how smart little girls are, and tend to screw it all up. It was chock full of interesting and varied personality types that meshed gracefully, and once adult crowd showed an interest. The dialogue felt much more natural and compelling.
And that's what people find fascinating about the cartoon.
Now I can barely look at anything MLP without feeling some bizarre sense of shame for being a part of the movement.
Then why are you still a part of the movement? Or have you left? Well then, good fucking riddance, asshat.
I used to be so happy that bronies were around, proving to everyone that appealing to little girls didn't have to alienate every other demographic. Then they got entitled, acted like they owned the show and its characters, and sought to ruin the wish of a little girl with cancer.
That's almost like saying that the autistic men children that are normally considered the laughing stock of fandoms are, in fact, the main part of the said fandoms. There are bronies that don't just like the show, but enjoy and even create fan-made content. There are cloppers that do the same, but do it in the pornographic genre. And then there's a bunch of fucking idiots that actually did what you accuse the whole brony branch of the MLP fandom of.
I don't want anyone to think I had anything to do with that.
The only people who are responsible for the idiotic actions are the idiots themselves, not the whole crowd.
I don't want to be associated with bronies.
Then don't, just fuck off already, or else I will send some friends of Moon Man upon your ass.
I don't even want proof of their existence.
Says the one who wrote literally paragraphs upon paragraphs about bronies.
I can't watch the show anymore. I haven't for the last 2 seasons.
Once more. Fuck off.
Some bronies are pretty great people, and always have been. But even one poisoned apple is enough to put you off the orchard, you know.
If you're so easily triggered but unable to restrict yourself from turning off the motherfucking filters and shit, then either confine yourself to Tumblr or get off the damn internet. I'm cutting it down, you fucking newbie. You know, there's a lot of shit that the bronies have to deal with. And if there's any reason other than the idiots in the fandom for that shit to even take its place, it's the people like you that keeps throwing shit at the crowd and pointing fingers at us from that lousy ass fucking soapbox that I'd like to shove up your ugly ass. The motto of bronies up until now used to be love and tolerance, but considering how they are treated, the aforementioned fandom branch will have to change it to love and tolerance within our isolated community, and ultra KKK style violence against unauthorized intruders from beyond the wall. Peace the fuck off.